So I think one of the things that is inseparable from fandom, especially comic book fandom, is merchandise.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Joe, you can attest to this. My entire room upstairs is wall-to-wall action figures, top to bottom.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I myself am a human action figure in a museum of action figures.
Honestly, it's the truest thing I've heard all day.
So what I would like to do starting out is I want us to talk about what we would be like as an action figure with the twist of I would like to personally make Joe's action figure. Joe, I assume you would make mine. And then,
of course.
Raphael, I assume, well, would you like to do the Multiverse Kids as action figures?
Yeah, they usually cling on me all the time anyhow, so.
Okay, so they would be accessories anyway.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, so Joe, I was thinking about this in the bathroom. I'm ready to go. So I want this to be the first Jurassic Park toy line molds, right? We're going to reuse the body mold for Dr. Grant.
Okay.
We're going to switch out the head, obviously.
Obviously.
Switch out the head, but you have no bending arms, no bending knees. You're just...
Bold of you to assume I have bending limbs at this point anyway.
It's... your accessories being a Lou, cat, Joe's cat Lou, with like a soft rubber, so that you can, much like the Squirty dinosaur from Jurassic Park. I forgot what that thing's called.
The Dilophosaurus?
Sure. The inky squirt fella. That'll be Lou.
Oh God!
And she'll be able to pee. She'll have a little squirt pee. I also want you to come with the accessories of coffee. Two different coffees. One for home, like a coffee mug, and then one on the go. A messenger bag, and if you are the lucky purchaser, every 35th Joe action figure has a natty daddy.
I hate you so much.
In their messenger bag that presumably an action figure Mike stuck there.
God,
what's a natty daddy?
A
natty daddy is are you familiar with the beer brand Natural Ice?
No.
So it's a cheap beer that like is frequently associated with college parties and frat boys. They have a like malted version of their really bad cheap beer that comes in a tall boy can that they refer to as a natty daddy.
Oh.
It's hell, and I'm still pissed that Mike has inflicted this upon me and has now convinced my sister to inflict this upon me on a regular basis.
Of the beer cans I've found along the side of the road, the one I find the most is the natty daddy. Natty daddy, drink up.
You usually look for beer cans on the road a lot?
Yeah.
Just turn up.
You know, on my days off, got nothing better to do. I'm just like, what kind of beer cans are doing well on the side of the road?
You just collect them and collect the change.
I'm making a dress. How about you, Joe? Action figure me up.
Action figure you. Okay, so I think removable facial hair. Specifically, so you can go clean shaven, mustached, or full beard.
Awesome.
You would come with an array of smaller action figures that your action figure has hand painted. So there's also a small selection of paints and a brush and a magnifying glass.
Oh man.
There's a lot of tiny little parts that are very easy to lose and or choke on with this particular action figure. There was no oversight in the creation of this.
So it's either a McFarlane toy or a Nika find or a Nika toy.
I'm leaning McFarlane, but we'll see. We'll leave it to a coin flip. And the penguin behind you.
Oh, but the penguin. Oh man, you can't see the. That's my penguin.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in there as well.
Small suggestion. The action figure, instead of having swappable heads, it's like the early Ghostbuster action figures, where if it was cold, it would make blue appear on the face.
Oh yeah.
But like after so many years of being in storage, it's always blue.
It's always blue.
So I will just always have beard.
Well, it's easy for you guys to get action figures. Most of the action figures are white.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. Yeah, we are unfortunately privileged in this matter.
I have my Luke Cage and Winston figures, and
I don't think there's any action figures with my skin tone.
No, these days.
I don't know.
We'll go hunting. We'll post it on the Insta.
There we go.
Just give me a Ninja Turtle like Raph figure and put some kids on me.
You can do that. So, Raphael, I'm going to go with the soft head.
Okay.
Instead of the hard head.
Oh.
And then you're going to have giant biceps. We're going to hang your kids on like a barrel full of monkeys.
Oh, hell yeah.
But children, wonderful. Look at us nerds. Hey, welcome to DeRazzled, the podcast that takes award-winning worst films and fixes them. I'm host Jack Culbertson. Here to suffer alongside me as always is also host Joe Nealis.
Good evening.
Today we are joined by the dorky papa, the father of fandom, the padre ventilator, Raphael, for the Geeky Dad Podcast. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited.
Excellent. We're excited to have you.
It's kind of wild. It's taken us this long to have you on.
I know.
Yeah.
You were one of the first podcasts to reach out and befriend us and be encouraging and share all of our business.
Maybe I was stalking you guys. I don't know.
You are our first stalker.
Aw, that's adorable.
So it's appropriate that you're our last guest for our first season.
Oh.
Saving the
you
best
guys getting
for
canceled?
last. I tried once.
Jack tried to cancel us, but it just didn't take.
I'll keep on trying. So,
don't worry. After this episode, it should happen.
That's it. We'll be sued by McFarlane, and that'll be it. So, all the movies on DeRazzled won Worst Picture at the Razzies the year they were released, except when we're given an excuse to talk about Batman.
Right.
True.
The Razzies, for those who don't know, are something of reverse Oscars. They recognize the worst films of the year. Because Raphael is him and we are us and we are all together, we'll be derazzing the worst of the cinematic Batmans, 1998's Batman and Robin, a movie that was nominated for 11 Razzies, but only took home 1.
1997.
No Bat Nipples on me, though.
Really?
Oh, thank God. No, I could not deal with any Bat Nipples.
I want to be like the cat of Bat Nipples, just the whole way down in the center.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. So here we are. With I think is easily named the worst Batman movie.
Hands down, yeah. This
right. I agree.
So I think we had mentioned in a recent episode that Batman Forever was the first movie to disappoint me as a child. This was the first one to make me angry.
Yeah. And I was foolish enough to actually pay to see this when I was a kid.
I was going to ask you what your first interaction was with this movie.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters.
As did I.
Was this your first Batman in theaters?
No. Actually, that would be Batman Forever.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Which I was young enough to enjoy.
I did as well.
Batman and Robin, I think I said, was the first movie that I was like, that didn't feel good.
I mean, that makes sense.
I suddenly developed taste because of this movie. I knew what the bottom looked like.
Schumacher. God.
I was a little shell-shocked with all the colors and neon.
There's so much.
Oh my God, so much.
Did you watch the Adam West Batman when you were growing up?
I actually did. And this feels like an adaptation of that, right?
It feels like it cut off the face of Adam West and wore it like Ed Gein.
That's why George Clooney had to apologize to him.
Speaking of George Clooney, he was sleepwalking in that movie, wasn't he?
He was, and I think part of the reason is that they had banked on Val Kilmer being Batman pretty much up until they were gonna go into production.
Yep.
Schumacher actually says that George Clooney did him a favor by hopping on at the last second.
Kinda, yeah.
Quote unquote favor.
We'll get into more of that.
We'll get more into that. First, I'd like to rant at you.
Okay.
Giving you the plot, quote unquote plot, of
giant
Batman
scare
Robin.
quotes on that word.
So let me see if I can just breeze through this real quick because nobody wants to talk about it, especially me. Hey, Batman and Robin. Arnold gets top billing. Inserts. Butts.
Yes.
Toyetic convertible Batmobile arrives. Is dumb. Why convertible? Chicks dig the car. Alfred needs a lozenge. Elected official, Commissioner Expositions. Mr. Freeze, doctorate in puns, needs diamonds, aka ice, to power his pun-based chili suit.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Damn it.
I hate it so much. Doesn't know that some shit won't freeze. Vodka, nacho cheese.
Nacho cheese won't freeze?
Every restaurant I've ever worked in with nacho cheese, put it in the cooler, and it's the same viscous liquid.
Ugh.
So if you're ever like stuck in an icy tundra, put vodka on your body and nacho cheese on the outside. And you'll be fine.
And you'll be fine. Great. Survival.
No wonder wife's still frozen. I'm doing this like a haiku, but like if I couldn't count.
Count your syllables.
Yeah. Extreme sports hockey boys make long, not good Batman 66 fight choreography.
Yeah.
Rocket is a rocket that goes boom. Freeze has iron butterfly suit.
You forgot the retractable skates.
Yes. Superhead retractable skates that popped out when they clicked their heels like Dorothy and Oz.
Yes.
Batman really good at pre-planning.
Really good.
Really good.
Absurdly good.
Homely Uma Thurman does poison science while pained screams come from back room. Hard to find grants? Probably get used to it.
Hard to find grants. Can confirm.
Robot Chicken Dr. Woody makes a Bane, and then she's all that's Uma into a poison ivy.
He did kind of, yeah, she's all that by way of murder. Yeah.
Right.
Or, well, not even murder. Pushing over a table.
Yeah, he pushed over a table.
I guess did it?
And she got a plant suit.
It was foreshadowing for deaths later.
Freeze teaches goons to sing. Smokes Bon Jovi cigar. I'll get to it. Gonna ransom Gotham for money, then for science, because hard to find grants?
Hard to find grants.
Very
Schumacher
hard.
and Barbara. Yeah, poor scientists. Poor evil genius scientists.
Unless you're making weapons for the government.
Oh, there's that.
Much like in our last episode where we talked about cell phones and polyamory fixes most plots, government grants actually solve a lot of plots as well. Shoehorn Barbara Gordon Pennyworth. Bruce has giant telescope. Girlfriend once wifed up. Simpsons cat lady Pam scares Bruce, who scoffs at renewable energy. Poison Ivy makes Batman Robin horny. Freeze arrives to steal more diamond. Batman remote turns off Robin's bike, then arrests Freeze. Alfred taps brother to be new Alfred. Do the Waynes own the Pennyworths?
They must at this point.
Bike race. Reasons unknown. Ivy Freeze. Reasons unknown. Ivy unplugs Mrs. Freeze. More reasons. Blames Batman and Robin. Alfred gonna die. Batman fights Ivy, but can't punch a lady. But Batgirl, a lady, can. Batgirl punches Ivy. Freeze freezes Gotham. Dog freeze frozen while pissing. Hero fights and falls and fights and puns and wins. Freeze, Doctor of Puns, gives Batman blue glow stick to save Alfred. Batman, Robin, and Batgirl run in slow-mo towards camera, presumably on their way to the third Schumacher Batman movie. Legend has it they're still running to this day. The end.
You forgot the Bat Nipples again.
You forgot the Bat Nipples
I
and the Bat credit card. But it was a very good C-Spot run rendition of Batman and Robin.
I knew we wanted to get through this as quickly as possible.
Also, butt shots. Also, a lot of butt shots.
No,
A lot of
said
butt shots.
didn't I had to say butt shots. Oh, I did. Yeah,
You did. You mentioned the first set of butt shots.
There were more butt shots.
There were
I
more butt
apologize.
shots. Yes.
I said inserts and butts.
Oh, you did actually. Yeah, I forgot.
But the Batgirl suit does not have any nipples on it.
That was probably a calculated choice.
And we'll get to this because, yes, it was a calculated choice. But first, let's really quickly talk about who's to blame, which is another thing I've shortened significantly.
McDonald's.
You're not wrong. Kenner ruined it by putting toys before movies and story.
Yeah, no, that is a fair assessment. I think everything that I've read about this movie up before coming into this recording has just said that the toyetic focus was really what killed a lot of this.
They had a lot of Arctic suit Batman toys in the bin
I had at least 2 as a kid.
See, here's the reason I didn't. Because Batman the Animated Series also had Arctic bat suits, and they were better.
I also had at least 2
you
of
just
those.
had more.
I just had a bunch of them.
Did you have a large collection of action figures growing up?
Yes. But I never picked any of the different suits of Batman. I thought those were really lame.
I like them for the animated series. For the main movies, I just tried to get their like movie accurate one, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you're saying,
the toy never moved, just like the real Batman in the movie, right?
No, there was not a single moving. You know what? That actually, now you just made me realize that my 1989 movie accurate Batman, based on the Michael Keaton Batman, his head moves, and that's not right.
Huh.
The action figure does, yeah.
Yeah, no, that doesn't fit with how his cowl works. Like, it's all one solid rubber piece.
Yeah, also the Batman Returns ones do too.
Yeah,
they should make it accurate where you have to rip off the cowl.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, Kenner, I have some. Well, you're no longer there.
Womp womp.
womp.
Maybe McFarlane would do some lifelike toys like that.
You know, I bet you he would.
Especially with the Flash movie coming out.
Oh.
I think not only would he's probably legally obligated to do so.
Yeah.
He's been bound by ritual to do it.
I will absolutely pre-order that action figure and wait 9 months for it to ship.
Yeah.
Because I think he did the Affleck one. That looked really realistic. Yeah.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So one of the issues with this movie, the thing that just shot it in the foot right out the gate, is Batman Forever came out, did way better than they were expecting.
Yeah.
And then they immediately wanted a sequel, and they had no time to plan it. And Kenner wanted toys, and they wanted toys. They wanted to start working on the toys now.
Mm-hmm.
So all the production designs had to be done ASAP. They didn't have any time to really tinker with them and do multiple drafts because they had to be shipped off to Kenner and turned into action figures. Which is why some of Batman Forever stuff looks silly, but also like, all right.
Well, there was also like not a push for toys during that movie. Like some came out because of course they did. It's a superhero movie in the 90s, but there wasn't like this massive like, no, we need to build off of this brand for this right now.
The other thing that baffles me is I had those action figures and they were in no way movie accurate. So why did you need the designs so far ahead of time?
So do you think the mold was not based on Clooney or Val Kilmer?
That's a good question.
I will say the Val Kilmer Bruce Wayne I had from Batman Forever was actually pretty spot on. I did not buy a single action figure from Batman and Robin. But I can't really remember if the Bruce Wayne looked like Clooney or not. I assumed that they had at least enough time to swap a head out.
Possibly.
Maybe. We'll have to have one of our adoring fans send us a George Clooney action figure.
Maybe Bane was like a reject from one of the WWF toys.
I could definitely see that. Oh my god, from the big arms, only shoulder movement line. Yeah. Oh my god!
Put a luchador mask on that Hulk Hogan and ship him out. The Poison Ivy figures looked especially bad.
I'm not surprised.
Even to this day, I feel like action figure companies have a really hard time, specifically with women's hips.
Right. Yeah.
They all look very, not busty. Busty's not the right word. But they have very large hips.
Yeah. No, it's all like hourglass figure kind of stuff going on.
Which like I have the Jessica Jones action figure from the show, and she's pretty petite.
Yeah.
And like they do a good job at the top. She's accurate there, but then she's got a little bit of a hip.
Right.
And I don't understand why
They're
that
all
is.
probably like one mold that they keep using.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're getting like Invisible Woman or Phoenix, you're getting the same ass.
Just no matter what.
We have that one mold that we've had since like 1986.
Yeah. It could be like a teenage girl, still body of a woman, right?
Yeah. God. I'm going to go ahead and just take us right back to any other topic. Any other topic. This. So I mentioned that Val Kilmer left, right?
Right.
He strung them along right up until production. And the reason I want to bring it back up is because you want to know what movie he went with instead?
Was it Thunderheart?
No. It was this magnificent movie you may have heard of called The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, yes.
Which is considered one of the worst movies of all time.
He wanted to go because Brando was in it.
He wanted to go because there was Brando.
Yeah.
I mean, I would too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hell of an opportunity, one would think.
If somebody gave me a piece of paper and they're like, hey, we're going to give you X number of monies to work with Marlon Brando, I'd be like, oh, hell yeah. And in Island Paradise, what's not to love?
Especially like Val Kilmer at that point of his career. Like, yeah you're going to take that shot.
We will have to do an episode. We'll have to do a series on that someday because that's a very long what the hell happened.
Interesting.
I saw the documentary on that. That's crazy.
It's amazing, right?
I'm going to have to look that up.
The only thing I'll say for here is that the original director was fired. And it was like his pet project from when he was like a little boy. It was like his favorite book.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him. He went and kind of like went native and literally went native. He started dressing in the extras' costumes and appeared on set as an extra. Like he's like snuck back on set.
Like after he had been replaced?
Correct.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But like it's like they're all like muddy and covered in. You don't know it's him, but it's him.
It's a crazy movie.
It's why I've never seen the movie. I've watched the documentary.
You never did?
The movie, no, I don't hate myself quite that much, but the documentary was amazing.
That has to be a Razzie movie, though.
If it isn't, it's because they didn't want to look at it. They were too scared to review the movie.
Are you trying to ring me? Like, am I going to watch this and I'm going to get killed by Marlon Brando in 7 days?
I think you're safe from Brando, but Val Kilmer.
I heard right. there were scenes in that movie where he refused to wear pants.
No, that absolutely tracks. I can't tell if Joe's joking or not. You know, Kilmer's kind of going off the deep end, right?
Well, he's got a lot of health issues. Like, he can't talk anymore.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I think right around the time he was doing Dr. Moreau, he started to go a little kooky.
Really?
He went egomaniac.
Really?
Like the stuff he was demanding
right.
for. Yeah, I forget what it was.
Oh, so he going
so
full like rockstar?
He turned into the real Iceman.
Nice.
God damn it. But that is a story for another time.
True.
Yeah.
I do want to touch on this really quickly, just because when we get to the critique, I want to not talk about it. So something that happened on set for Batman and Robin, not Dr. Moreau.
Sure.
Alicia Silverstone was horribly body shamed.
Yeah.
Right.
And because of that, and I do want to discuss it. We'll say her performance wasn't great, and that's it.
It wasn't. I think that's fair to say. I think she knows that.
She wasn't given much to begin with.
That's also very true. But yeah, no, I don't see the point to nitpicking her performance considering what she went through. Because like having gone through that and everything she was going through leading up to that, I probably wouldn't have wanted to have been there either.
So to elaborate a little bit on that, there was a specific incident in which some crew, I can't remember if it was costuming or some other department, did a drawing of her.
Well, they claimed it was just of Barbara Gordon, of Batwoman, but come on.
It was an unflattering image, and then a PA photocopied it and was handing it out.
he specifically, what I read was that he put it up at his desk,
Oh
and so he had it on display. And then somebody else who was like with higher up in costuming or with casting, I forget which, saw it, flipped out, got really pissed off. Like, she's trying so hard. What are you doing? And like, I think that guy lost his job. The PA.
Yeah.
But the guy who did the drawing didn't sign it, so no one knew. Nobody ratted him out, so he kept his job.
So there's all that, and during press for the movie, reporters hounded her about her weight,
which of course they did not do to George Clooney or Chris O'Donnell.
No, of course not.
Weirdly sexual questions for Michael Gough, though.
That guy's a stud.
Banana hammock scene. I miss him.
He was great. I was just talking with. Yeah. I was talking.
So fatherly in those movies,
right?
Yeah, no, he is an amazing, fatherly, kind Alfred, like iconic. Like he was for the longest time like the vision of Alfred in my head, at least until Michael Caine did his take on it.
Right.
See, I feel like even aside from the animated one, which I love that depiction.
Oh, of course.
The Michael Gough version wasn't so fatherly to me as he was grandfatherly.
Right.
He looks the part.
Yeah, he looks the part. I want to say, and I could be completely wrong here, but I want to say he started out doing like Hammer horror films or like different horror films.
I could believe that.
Oh, I need to look into that. That's awesome.
I could also be mixing up my Burton actors. But for now, I'm going to pretend he was a Helsing.
Right.
Just slaying.
You sure it's not Peter Cushing?
I mean, Peter Cushing was definitely a Helsing. There was a couple Helsings.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, Peter Cushing could have been a good Alfred too.
Peter Cushing could have been a good Alfred, actually.
I would have said you're full of shit until I watched the original Tales from the Crypt movie from the 70s, in which he plays a kindly old toy maker.
Oh.
And I was like,
oh, Grand Moff Tarkin.
Right. I'm so used to him being like Grand Moff Tarkin or like in a horror movie. And I see him like making little toys for kids. And I'm like, who is this man?
I like that.
Yeah, no, it's adorable. I'm like, I didn't think I'd be this touched by like a Tales from the Crypt movie from the 70s. Sorry, I started thinking about Michael Gough and how incredible he is. Now I have no idea what we're talking about. Oh, Alicia Silverstone. So I was watching the Raphael, have you ever watched the like behind the scenes documentary stuff they have on the DVDs for the Batmans? They did like a 4-part series, like each
a long
Batman
time ago.
movie. I rewatched the ones for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin because they're so full of people eating their own bullshit. Just because like the Burton ones have a little bit of that, but also like Tim Burton doesn't care enough to play the game to do that.
Yeah,
right.
Whereas, and like Val Kilmer doesn't either. But the rest, like Schumacher's still trying to like be a part of the business. He's still trying to like not apologize for everything that's going on, but like we did this for this reason. Like, wasn't it great that we all did this? And look at the intention behind this choice. I'm like,
he has some hoops he has to jump through, some mental gymnastics he has to engage in,
which I understand for him. But then there's also like producers and other studio heads that are talking on the DVD special. I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
So Schumacher was asked about the Bat Nipples. And his explanation for that was, which like, sorry to backstep a second. What I love about these documentaries is that whoever was cutting it together, whether it was intentional or not, they would take one actor or one studio person's interview piece and then put it against a contradicting piece.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's like, it's subtle, but like, it's definitely there. There's a couple of like, okay. There's one where somebody's talking about Jim Carrey, who I don't think talked in the special at all.
I don't doubt that for a second.
They got Tommy Lee Jones to talk.
Fuck off. Really?
Yeah. And I always forget how...
Curmudgeon?
Right. I was like, who tricked you into being here? I always forget how like Texan he is.
He's
that's
pretty
his
Texan.
old school actor in him. You know, he has to participate.
Yeah, he's like,
that could be
I'm
it.
obligated to be here.
Yeah.
Well, I signed up for this.
Yeah. But they're talking about, I guess there was some bad press about Joel Schumacher and Jim Carrey. not getting along. And Joel's like, that's bullshit. And I tend to believe him on that one.
Wait, Schumacher and Carrey?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I've always heard about Jones and Carrey.
Yeah, but,
that's
right.
like infamous.
Didn't he do another movie afterwards with Schumacher?
I think was it 23?
The number 23.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a Schumacher film?
I think so.
I had no idea.
Some years later, of course.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The strange thing about Schumacher, he does a lot of dark movies.
Yeah.
Except for Batman.
Except for Batman!
Which is wild. As the way that people feel about the Snyder cut is the way I feel about the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. I would love to see his original intention for the movie, specifically because, and I'd always wondered this as a kid. We keep talking about Batman Forever because it's such a better movie, and like that's a very low bar.
It is.
So there's in the movie. I don't know if you guys remember this. There's this book that Val Kilmer's Bruce Wayne keeps remembering back to.
Right.
And he's like, it's his father's diary. And they talk about him remembering, like, this is the last entry my father will ever write in this diary. And then there's a couple of scenes with him and Nicole Kidman where he's, like, being therapized. And he's like, I killed my parents. As opposed to
That's deep.
My parents were... Right. But they never explain it. And there is a reason, and it was cut.
I saw a still from the director's cut, and it's like Bruce talking to a giant bat.
Yes. So he goes back to the specific place where he first lost the book, the diary, and is confronted by this giant bat. But what's cut from the movie, besides that, which I wish that would have been awesome, I guess the only reason that survived is because it was in an early trailer.
Sure.
Is there's an entry in the diary where Thomas Wayne writes, me and Martha want to stay in and play with the kid, but the kid wants to go see the movies.
Oh.
I don't know, he talks like a 1920s.
That bastard Bruce.
Yeah, so then Bruce feels responsible for that, but has suppressed it. And through working with Dr. Chase Meridian, it gets drawn to the surface.
Bastard kid of mine taking me outside to see movies and such. I need this like I need a hole in the head.
I've been watching the old Superman, the Fleischer cartoons.
Oh yeah.
I love them, and that's how like Clark and the Chief talk.
Yep.
God, I love that.
It's a fun voice.
So the reason I bring that up is because you're
Why
right.
did we stop talking like that?
That is where America went wrong. That right there. Somebody call up Cary Grant. We all need voice lessons. God, I was like, why is Cary Grant on my mind? Oh, the last podcast episode where they talk about him being a proponent of LSD.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was very early in the disbursement of LSD, so it didn't quite have this, but he's like, it did wonders for me.
It was the cocaine of that time.
Right. As well as cocaine being the cocaine of that time.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of both going around. Thanks, CIA.
I thought cocaine got prominence in the late 70s.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe?
Drugs. Who knows?
But you're right. Like, Schumacher tended to do darker films, and I think if they let him, Batman Forever would have been darker as well.
I mean, he did 8mm too, right?
He did 8mm, which was awful. And
that's pretty dark, though.
It is very dark. It is a very dark film. It's about snuff films.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, that's about as dark as it gets.
And it was originally written by God, I'm gonna fuck up his name. I think Kevin Allen Walker, who wrote Seven.
Oh.
If that gives you any
indication
of how dark it is.
A bit.
He has since disowned the script because it got changed so much before.
He wrote a version of Batman vs. Superman also.
The writer of Seven?
No, Kevin Walker. Same fella.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's wild.
I would love to read that.
Yeah, I want to see that treatment very badly.
He also wrote Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
Neat.
And he wrote, I think, the Wolfman. I said Wolfman. The Wolfman with Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, he did?
Not Guillermo del Toro.
Benicio?
Benicio del Toro.
Not the Jack Nicholson one?
No, sorry, I'm just stuck with the image of Guillermo del Toro as a werewolf.
Man, that would be good, though.
Dreams are going to be weird tonight.
It's, but he'd be such a friendly werewolf.
He would, though.
I want that movie now. God, okay, let's force ourselves back on topic. God,
Batman and Robin, Batman and Robin, Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Now, don't you feel that the reason they made Barbara Alfred's like niece is because they screwed over Gordon in the other movies as a character?
Oh, yeah. I didn't give a shit about Gordon until the cartoon.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think he was important. I was like, oh, he's a cop. He's a cop connection.
Yeah.
Not that the actor did a bad job. He just wasn't given enough.
He was never given enough. And even in the Burton films, I think, like he's just there.
It's like a caricature.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he gets a little bit of involvement in this one. Like he gets seduced by Ivy in that one scene. But that's it. Like and he gets to turn on the heater in that one moment after Freeze makes everything cold again.
He felt like like in the old Adam West show, there was like Chief O'Hara and Gordon. It's like they merged those two together to make that Gordon.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Because a lot of what I was reading was that Schumacher was holding the 66 Batman as like sacred in relation to this. Like he wanted to channel that level of like comedic camp.
Let's be serious. He probably never read the comic too.
Oh no, I don't doubt that for a minute.
He said he was a big fan of the Adam West one, which I absolutely believe.
I'd believe that. Yeah.
Shit, we were talking about nipples and I got distracted.
So that's not like you.
No, not at all.
Let's go to codpiece.
Let's talk about cod pieces and nipples.
Here we go.
So the reason
I'm surprised the codpiece didn't have like a cock outline on it.
Oh my god.
Fuck, what's that called? We had an episode where we talked about this.
The visible penis line.
Yes.
Yeah.
VPL.
VPL, that's it.
George Clooney's VPL.
Thanks for that.
Well, at least there was no camel toe, right?
Oh.
God.
George, no. So the reason that there were nipples, let me get this out, goddamn, I don't want to stop talking about nipples. Joel Schumacher wanted to represent Batman and Robin and Batgirl, these exaggerated archetypes, as Greek gods, essentially.
Yes.
Which is why he wanted to make them in not only like obnoxiously rippled, muscular, but also anatomically correct. So, which he was not allowed to do with Batgirl for obvious reasons.
Those statues shows a lot of cock, though.
and if he were allowed, you know he would.
Yeah. They were fine. They were fine with male-facing nipples, but
yes, and they definitely imply nipplage, which is now a word I've made, with Batgirl.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was surprised how tame Poison Ivy's costume was.
You know what? I am too.
Relative to what could have been, and the influence that he was taking with the Greek mythology, yeah, it could have been a lot more risque, a lot more disconcerting to the MPAA.
Honestly, among all of the costumed heroes and villains, including Bane, hers is pretty mundane.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Bane. Exit. Shut up. Please stop it.
Well, hey, look at us talking about Batman and Robin. Let's take a moment to not go to ad.
All right, let's go to an ad.
Hey, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your break, because we're going to talk about more Batman and Robin.
Just what you always wanted.
More nipples, more codpiece.
If you are the sixth caller, you win yourself a codpiece.
More codpiece.
Talk about a wasted merchandising right there.
An official DeRazzled codpiece.
Oh no, we haven't even gotten the stickers done.
It's just like a lacrosse
cup,
spray painted gold and then covered in stickers.
I'd buy it. I'd buy that for $1.
Nice.
And we'll use like a clothesline to tie it on.
Beautiful.
The official. Anyway, hey, let's talk about some stats. Why don't we? God, now my mind is just thinking about like, how do we DeRazzle a superhero costume, but like knife breaker style?
Oh no!
You know, like suction cups.
Suction
Cups spray painted gold and stuck on your nipples.
You can do that on a budget. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that with a trip to Dollar Tree.
I have so much spray paint. You're gonna reek. Hey man, what do you think the general Rotten Tomato score was out of 100?
14.
Pretty close. 12.
Oh, okay.
This is one of the lower ones that we've encountered.
How about the audience score?
50?
16.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was expecting to be a little higher as well. I feel like over the years it has dropped.
Right.
It's gotta.
Significantly. Out of 10, what do you think the IMDb score is?
2?
Should be. 3.7.
Wow.
That is higher than I would expect given I mean, just look at it.
I want to give it a 3.
Really?
I want to, just because I know what happened in the production. But I've watched it several times now, and
You can't justify that.
I mean, I can find some good things in it.
Great, because you're going to have to in a minute. So really quick, let's talk about the before we get to the Razzies. Let's talk about the stinkers.
Right, because this did win some stinkers in addition to
won
Razzie.
A bunch of stinkers.
Yeah.
So it was nominated for worst sequel, but lost to Speed 2,
Cruise Control.
No.
However,
no.
I've never watched it.
I actually saw that
this is
before
worse.
the original.
This is worse than Speed 2.
I'd agree this is worse than Speed 2.
Yeah.
I believe you. You. I've not watched it, but yeah. I'm also kind of amazed there hasn't been a Speed 3 or 4.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't really think about it, but let's not put that idea into someone's head.
What would you be speeding on?
Well, first of all, I think that it would be direct to DVD starring Nick Nolte on a skateboard.
Oh, wow.
On a skateboard? Keep pushing, Nick!
It's Nick Nolte on playing all the roles. Anyway, so Stinkers.
That sounds amazing.
I've convinced myself. I now need. What's Nick up to these days?
Something.
How many Nicks can we get in a film?
Nick Nolte, Nick Cage, Nick Cannon.
Every movie I see of Nick Nolte, he looks like a hobo.
He's getting there. Was he
disheveled, hairy all over, all the time?
I get him and Gary Busey mixed up all the time for some reason.
A lot of people do, yeah.
We can put Gary Busey in there too.
I think we should leave Gary Busey alone.
You know what? You're probably right.
He should just
Nick Nolte, Nick Cage, and Nick Cannon.
There we go.
Speed 3.
Man.
3 Nicks. And we'll make it like an extreme sports movie. Like,
oh god,
do you remember when there was that time when extreme sports were like super hip and there was a bunch of movies surrounding that?
Yeah,
Triple X.
Triple X,
right.
The original Paul Blart.
We'll do that. Shut up.
There was actually a lot of skateboarding in that movie.
I know. I watched it.
Cool as Ice.
Cool as Ice. There we go.
So we'll do
Out
that
cold.
trend. We'll do that trend, but in 2022 with Nick.
Read off the damn stickers.
Call it Caged Heat.
I like that actually.
That's pretty good.
So Batman and Robin at the Stinkers. It won Worst Picture, Worst Director, Worst Actress, Worst Screenplay for a film grossing over 100 million worldwide using Hollywood math.
I like that caveat at the end.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I miss you, Stinkers. Hashtag bring the Stinkers back.
Baby, come back.
Caged Heat. The skate park will never be safe again. So, let's talk about the Razzies. Why don't we? So at the 18th annual Golden Raspberry Awards,
I'm surprised Clooney didn't get nominated because he was horrible.
Oh, for Stinkers? I am too.
Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, you didn't list him anywhere in those nominations.
No,
huh.
No, it's. I'm not going to pull it up right now, but that is strange.
Did you notice a weird head movement that Clooney does in that movie every time he talks?
Oh, he's like a bobblehead. It's ridiculous.
Joe messaged me earlier and was like, what's wrong with Clooney's head?
Yeah, it doesn't stop. It's every scene, especially when he's in the cowl. It just can't stop going.
I noticed, and like that is a thing that I will notice, especially from like stage actors going to screen.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to work that out of an actor.
Yeah.
I think on every film project I've worked on, I've had to do that for like one actor. It's not a big deal. But I'm like, Clooney, the fuck? You're like an actor.
Yeah, like you know what you're doing.
You're on the ERs.
But you're still on the ERs in the middle of this production.
You literally have a day off for like 6 months. Maybe that was what his neck was just.
I actually thought Chris O'Donnell was better in that movie.
Honestly,
which is a weird thing to say, but yeah.
It was weird watching the behind the scenes and seeing Chris O'Donnell as the pro.
Right.
Like the experienced one.
So strange.
But I'm like, yeah, I actually didn't mind your performance as much.
I'm surprised they didn't go with like the long hair, like Nightwing look for that movie.
We'll get to it. Oh, wink. So it was nominated for 11 Golden Raspberries.
Yes.
Including Worst Picture. It was robbed of not only this win, but most wins by a movie called The Postman.
Oh, fucking Kevin Costner.
Yeah. Yeah. It's another one. It's another year where Kevin Costner's shitty film stole all the awards.
It's not that bad in my opinion. No.
Postman?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I watched it a long time ago.
It's long and boring, but I mean, it's not horrible.
No, I think the Razzies just really don't like him.
Right.
Kevin Costner.
I have a thing for post-apocalyptic movies anyhow, so.
I mean, same.
Yeah. And Tom Petty's in it, I think.
Right.
Tom Petty's in it?
I think he is.
The fuck? No, but remember, he
plays Tom Petty in that movie.
He didn't win Worst Picture for Waterworld.
Listen, that movie was a fucking lie because Tom Petty did not survive to the apocalypse.
No.
Aww.
And he didn't grow old either.
Well, he got up there. He was pretty old.
God damn it. Where was I? I have no idea.
The Razzies that it was nominated for. So Worst Picture, which it did not win.
So it was nominated for Worst Picture. It lost to The Postman. It was nominated for Worst Supporting Actress.
For both
for Uma?
Both Chris O'Donnell.
No, actress. You said actress.
That's because word's good. Worst Supporting Actor. Both Chris O'Donnell and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
But lost to Dennis Rodman in Double Team?
Yes.
I've never heard of it.
I don't know. That's a good thing, yeah.
I don't know if I watched that or not.
What is it?
That was bad. It's him and Van Damme fighting Mickey Rourke. CGI tigers.
CGI tigers?
You're not
so, yeah.
selling it.
Jesus.
They're doing karate a lot.
It's definitely worth me watching the trailer.
At least.
I will definitely. Worst Supporting Actress was their only win, which was Alicia Silverstone. But Uma Thurman was also nominated, but lost to her.
Yes.
Worst Screen Couple. George and Chris were nominated, but lost to Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme. For CGI Tiger movie.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was nominated for Worst Remake or Sequel, but lost to Speed 2, the prequel to Speed 3.
Cage Teat.
Cage Teat. Shit. We really need a marketing team because, like, we're just spinning gold in this episode. Just cod pieces everywhere.
We're just giving away these great ideas for nothing.
Just nothing.
Damn,
like Joe Rogan.
It was nominated for Worst Director, but lost to Kevin Costner for The Postman. It was lost to The Postman for Worst Screenplay.
Wow.
This is some shite. And actually, this is probably the one I disagree with. So for Worst Original Song, first of all, The Postman won for, quote, the entire song score from The Postman. That is not a song. That's the score.
Come on, Razzies. Jesus.
Was there a hit song for that movie? Because I know there was "Kiss of the Rose" for forever.
Oh, for Batman and Robin, there absolutely was for Batman and Robin, and I like this song. It's
The End is the Beginning is the End.
Yeah,
by the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Which I can't even remember that song.
They reused. Well, they didn't reuse it. They also used it for the Watchmen trailer.
Oh,
yeah, they did.
That's the one. Yeah.
And it worked really well for that trailer.
Yeah, honestly.
Right.
God, when I was in college and like writing really dark shit and I was just like moody and broody and needed medication, I would put that song on repeat and just like write angsty shit.
Nice.
But does that song match the movie?
Batman and Robin?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Not at all.
Exactly. I mean, Kiss of the Rose does kind of like fits that movie, I guess.
I can see that.
I'm also tired of that song being stuck in my head. What fucking movie got that stuck in my head?
Thunder Force.
Oh.
Which you're now making me say again.
Don't
I got
summon her.
I Believe I Can Fly was in my head for like forever.
Oh my god. When I was in the 6th grade, they had some kind of like little ceremony for us graduating elementary school, and it was a bunch of us little brats on stage singing various songs to our parents' delight, and one of them was I Believe I Can Fly.
Of course.
Which has not aged well.
Especially, with who's singing it, right?
Yep, 100%.
Just 30 elementary school kids singing I Believe I Can Fly. Anyway, 90s were weird. And then the last thing it was nominated for was Worst Reckless Disregard of Human Life and Public Property.
Okay.
It lost to Con Air, which,
Yeah.
Fair. Okay,
Yeah.
I'd buy that.
Yeah. That I'll agree. Yeah.
super duper. So now we're going to get into the critique, which we will do quickly.
You sure? Because we could go for a long time on that.
Yeah, I mean...
We could, but we have an hour. So for what works, who in the cast worked for you, aside from Michael Gow, which you've already said?
Yeah, we did already sing Alfred's praises.
Chris O'Donnell, I guess.
I'm not a particular fan of his Robin, but he was the best of the heroes in this movie.
Right.
If I was at a Chinese buffet and I knew what none of the things were,
he looked older than Clooney, though.
Yeah,
sometimes, yeah. This is supposed to be like an older Batman, like a more mature Batman, and like, there are times where they either look like they're the same age, or like from certain angles, O'Donnell looks older.
Yeah.
You think they'll ever do a Batman movie with a kid Robin?
I would like to see like a young Tim. Tim Drake, the character, the third Robin.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. I don't know if they would actually give it a shot, though. I think they should, but...
They would need to do an older Batman, and they haven't. Like even Christian Bale in The Dark Knight Rises, he is older, but he doesn't feel old enough to deserve a Robin.
Right.
Yeah.
So for for the story, what worked?
Nothing.
Cool. God, I'm gonna rack my brain for a second here.
I heard somebody. I'm gonna steal somebody else's answer. They said that the Alfred being ill and at risk of dying added some dramatic tension to the story, which I agree.
I would agree with that.
But coincidence that it's the same thing as the Freeze's wife.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're going to talk about suspension of disbelief, this entire film falls apart.
I think you get halfway through the word suspension and just like the entire film collapses.
Right.
That's a made-up disease, right?
Suspension of disbelief, yes.
No. McGregor's syndrome.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure it's fictional. I didn't dig into it very far.
That was my mom's maiden name.
Was McGregor?
Yeah, so like as a kid, I'm like, Grandpa's killing Alfred.
Oh no! So along those lines, I will say that at least up until he goes completely cuckoo bananas. Freeze's motivations for why he does what he does work, which we know because it's exactly his motivations from Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah,
Right.
Just copy and pasted that storyline.
Right.
Which I'm not mad about.
It's fine.
It's a good story.
And that storyline, if they stuck to that, would have been much better.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. Man, we can talk about it now.
That episode
Arnold's-
feels like a Tim Burton movie, if you look at it. It has like the same soundtrack, the same mood,
I watched through all of the Freeze-oriented episodes of the animated series, including up through Batman Beyond, and the whole thing is so dark
It is
and
yes.
heartbreaking.
You're talking about the Heart of Ice, right? Episode?
Heart of Ice is his first appearance in the show, and then it just gets sadder and darker from there.
Right.
And Arnold's portrayal of Freeze makes no sense.
No, none. Just the kookiness, the puns, though apparently that was not originally how it was supposed to be.
Really?
From what I was reading, at least in the Hollywood Reporter's 20th anniversary piece on the movie.
Must have been a slow month.
They were saying that originally a lot of Freeze's lines were much more Shakespearean.
Oh, shit,
Like they
that
were
would be
much
great.
more dramatic. There was a rumor that apparently Patrick Stewart was being considered for the
that's so
role.
cool.
That would have been so cool,
Who
but
I would like to have played the role. Yeah.
That's fascinating because
unfortunately it was apparently bullshit. But it would have been so cool.
Yes. I agree.
But then Arnie came into the picture, and I think they were going to try to keep some of those lines, and then they
but it was
scrapped them all
hilarious
for
because he
puns.
couldn't do it.
Oh no! Could you imagine for a second Arnold Schwarzenegger delivering like an earnest Shakespearean soliloquy?
I've seen that. Have you seen Last Action Hero?
I actually have seen Last Action Hero. That's a fair point. I stand corrected.
Do you remember the episode of Metalocalypse where Nathan Explosion does the audiobook for the complete works of William Shakespeare?
Yes.
I imagine it's exactly like that.
Wow.
Oh, it's beautiful.
God, I can't wait for that movie.
I know.
I had a point, but it's gone. It's entirely gone.
About Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. So, according to Schumacher, at least, Arnold was the only choice for him.
Right. Yeah, I had read that as well.
And he said if he didn't get Arnold, and he told Schwarzenegger this, if he didn't get Arnold, he wasn't going to do the movie. So Arnold felt obligated to do so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, now that detail I wasn't aware of.
Yeah. This is also coming from
I think
Arnold,
they were
so-
just looking for an A-list actor.
I agree. Remember this moment for later when we talk about Shakespearean dialogue for my fix.
Noted.
Okay.
I'm not even going to talk about themes for this movie. I don't want to.
There,
I don't want to do it.
I mean, if you had to pick out themes, it's teamwork, family, friendship, plants.
Bane. Great. Moving on to production.
But Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy, it's like two villains that would never team up. It doesn't make any sense.
No, oh my god. I mean, just personality-wise, I don't think they could fucking stand each other.
Wouldn't a cold kill plants?
Yeah.
When I was working on the fix for this, that was the hardest thing for me to figure out.
I believe that.
I'm like, why would these two ever work together?
No reason.
We'll see how I did.
What would be interesting, instead of them working together, they could be at war with each other. Gotham is stuck in between.
That I like that.
I thought about that. And I think if I was reading a comic book and that were the case, I would love it. Like, I think they'd be really good fighting each other.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So wait, question. If you're doing the fix, do you have to include Poison Ivy?
It has to, yeah, right, because I also was like, what if I just get rid of her?
Yeah.
It has to, at least in some way, resemble the original story.
Yeah, we try to challenge ourselves to not deviate very far from what's already presented.
Because, like, it would be easy to do either Poison Ivy or Arnold. But, like, Poison Ivy, I think, would be the most interesting.
Yeah, we try to challenge ourselves to not deviate very far from what's already presented.
Because, like, it would be easy to do either Poison Ivy or Mr. Freeze.
Right.
Doing the both of them, we'll see how I did. We'll get to it. So let's get to what we really want to talk about, which is what didn't work for casting.
I fucking hate everything about Bane from the top to bottom. The everything about the character, everything about they only aimed for picking a giant muscle bound bodybuilder, which great, cool. I like that he's big, but Bane's supposed to be cunning and smart and not a Pokemon.
He was missing some brain cells there.
Several.
Yeah.
I want the foil gold rare crystal card of Bane as a Pokemon.
So
they should have had a toy where he's skinny and then you inflate him and he gets all big.
I would have bought that. Yeah, you're right.
I will say I did like the initial visual effect of him getting big. Watching the little guy suddenly become swole. Kind of was
that's
visually
one thing
effective.
I like about the movie. That the special effects were pretty good for the 90s.
For the 80s, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
For the late 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
The moment where he shrinks back down to little dude actually legit freaked me out as a kid. I was
I remember that. I remember that being really alarming whenever I was younger, and when I watched it this time, I kind of chuckled
because it's so ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous, and also I was watching it on a bus on my way to work.
Right. And the funny thing was Alfred had a Arctic suit already made. He knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, just
for Batgirl. I mean,
I'm trying to think if in Batman Forever if he had any specialized suit, which he does. He has a radar, a batdar thing.
Yeah. Sonar
kind of
thing.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
The bat gimmickry in this one does not work at all. From the bat credit card for the cheap never leave home without it product placement, and the bat circular saw that he whips out when he's whenever they're fighting Poison Ivy later on.
This is really embarrassing, but I, as a child, really wanted that little zappy gun.
The laser thing?
Defrosting gun? Yeah. I also wanted that, but it also made me mad that they had that. Why did they know they were going to have to deal with this?
I wanted the noisy cricket in one hand and the little defroster gun in the other.
Unstoppable.
Beep, 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 beep. Yeah.
What about the fake lips?
Oh, yeah. Those were... I want to say...
A clever ruse.
Those, I want to say, at least have appeared in a comic book somewhere.
Yeah,
they're
that's
stupid
definitely
as hell. But
they're dumb, but they're also there's precedent for that gimmick at least. Whereas I don't know if there is one for a handheld bat circular saw.
Can you imagine George Clooney's Batman just sitting and considering, which Batman does in the comics, consider every possible situation that could occur. He's what about a circular saw?
Got Batman Roundup.
So when he was
Trowel.
going against the Mr. Freeze in the beginning, did he know he was encountering Mr. Freeze?
Only once he was already on his way and Commissioner Exposition told him so.
Yes,
so that
that's
means
right.
He has those skates on him at all times.
They're just built into the suit. They're there constantly, apparently.
They were in the trunk of the car.
Good thing we've got our hockey gear in the back seat.
Really, really quick, I want to touch on one more note before we break. I was watching this TikTok about this person who was discussing how each Batmobile reflects the type of Batman you're going to get. She was specifically talking about the Batman and Robert Pattinson's car.
I love that car.
Legit, it's great. And she also spoke about Christian Bale's
the Tumbler, Rumbler, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She skipped over Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, however, and I was thinking about it. I'm her theory still applies for
it still fits
Batman and Robin, because I'm well, what about the stupid fucking convertible car?
Right,
oh,
right.
He's a dad. It's a midlife crisis.
Oh, there it is.
Midlife crisis car.
And is it me, or does this car not drive that fast?
No, it doesn't really go very fast.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
It looks. I give it to them because I think it is a practical.
Right.
But it also, I feel like I could outrun it.
I saw that car on display in the Smithsonian.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you laugh at it?
Yes, I took a picture with that too.
Point, laugh, take a picture.
Like a freak show and like a carny.
Right. It's with those weird
Great.
ribs and fins.
Oh my god.
So all these things considered, do we feel that Batman and Robin deserves its accolades?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that Alicia Silverstone needs to be given a fucking break because of what she dealt with on set.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah.
It can't be
100%.
easy to wear those suits. Okay.
Oh my god, no.
No, I mean I think I read that like in between scenes and pickup basketball games that he was organizing, George Clooney would just make like ribald jokes about how uncomfortable his suit was.
I think if you
the
gained
entire
1
production.
pound, you probably can't fit in that.
Oh my god!
And that's the thing is like the fittings would take place months before production. So
Right.
if you gained any weight,
Nope.
and she would have been she would have been still growing, like she was younger.
She was
Yeah.
still a teenager.
She's still a
So how
teenager,
creepy is
so-
it that Alfred knew her size? Huh? So exact.
That's no. Is that creepy uncle or is that exquisite butlering
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like
or that Venn diagram's a circle?
so. We all agree it deserves the accolades, huh? Fantastic. Hey, we'll see you all after this break. Hey, let's dive back in and talk about how we're gonna make Batman and Robin even better. I do this
That's
because we only
burn
have
the
15 minutes
script.
left. I wish. Okay,
I mean,
so
is that off the table?
unfortunately, we've done this to ourselves. Yes.
Damn.
Let's recast some people, huh? So the first one I'm recasting is Mr. Freeze.
Getting rid of Arnie.
Right.
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay.
Kind of. I was trying to think of an actor that was similar to the animated series. But better.
No Patrick Stewart.
I didn't even think of Patrick Stewart. I went with Jeremy Irons,
Jeremy
Wow.
Irons.
Not bad.
Ooh.
Not bad.
who ended up being Alfred later, I think.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the alongside Batfleck. Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
Ball
would-
cap, shaved head.
If he would shave his head,
Yeah.
I
he's
believe
not a
he
fucking
would.
hack.
Unlike Arnie, apparently.
Not
actually, I don't
a
know if
young
Arnold
Kevin
shaved his head or
Spacey?
not.
I do actually know. Oh God.
No, Arnold's problematic enough as it is. We don't need something worse.
So actually, I do know the answer to that question.
Oh,
And
okay.
so they wanted Arnold to shave his head,
Okay.
and they talked him into it. He was going to do it, and then he got on set and he backed out. So they ended up
Right.
doing a bald cap. So that took his daily makeup time from 4 hours to like 5.5, 6 hours.
Speaking of that
Yeah.
makeup, it looked so fake. Like, it looks like paint on his face.
It
Right?
is paint. It's actually acrylic.
Yeah, but I
And
know
the
it's not
battery acid
supposed to
in his
look
mouth.
like paint, though.
It shouldn't, but
No.
And Jack, you are correct. He did end up getting battery acid in his mouth because of that weird LED they put in there for whatever reason.
No sense. Makes no sense.
But Jeremy Irons, I think, could fucking work.
Right. He can
moving
work in
on
anything.
He really can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was Ozymandias.
Yeah.
he
Is
was
that the
in the
one?
Watchmen TV show.
Yes.
was great.
Yes.
He was
Yes.
really good. I enjoyed him a lot.
Moving on to Bane,
Thank God. Oh,
who I've recast as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That would make sense.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you were going to do a shift here. Okay.
Here's the problem. It was the late 90s, and there are not a whole lot of Hispanic actors who are also
Well,
Ripped as
you
fuck.
know.
ripped as fuck.
I mean, does he have to be Hispanic? Because, Nolan made him like an Englishman or something, right?
I mean, Nolan made him fucking Tom Hardy.
Whatever Tom Hardy is.
Yeah.
I was trying to go for one. There's not a whole lot of Hispanic representation there's not a whole lot of like people of color in Gotham.
Was
Like,
The
as much as I
Rock
love
an
Batman,
actor back then?
No, he was.
was
This was
not.
like very early WWF days for him, I believe.
because I was like, oh, The Rock would be great.
He
but,
would have been great, but yeah, no,
unfortunately.
it was way too early in his career, and he wasn't. He also wasn't as like cartoonishly jacked as he is now.
Right.
But in the comics, Bane is from South America
Yes.
somewhere.
Only problem with that is, like, Arnold would never do a movie where his face is covered the whole time.
You're right.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I don't think he would sign on for that.
we'll have him in the mask for a minute and then I'll get it torn off or something. Moving on. This is a possible recast because I would like to bring Jim Carrey back, but if he won't do it, I would recast him with Crispin Glover.
He would have been really good as a Riddler. Like a weird version of the Riddler.
Oh, yeah. I'd watch the hell out of that. That'd be so good.
I feel like at the end of Batman Forever, Jim Carrey has become Crispin Glover. Like,
honestly?
his brain being...
I thought he looked more like a Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, Frankenstein monster, right.
I'm sorry. So I want to do a couple quick changes for the production, the crew, that aspect. For the script, I want to bring on 2 Batman writers from the 90s. And I feel bad because I'm definitely going to mispronounce his name, but he's like one of the, if there was like a hall of Jack's writers who made something that him, this man would be there. Like his early comic books had a lot of influence on me. And it's Doug
Minch.
Minch, is that how you say it is?
Yeah.
It's Moench, and he wrote Batman between 1983 and 2001. Right. He's in Pennsylvania somewhere.
Really?
He created Moon Knight.
Right.
And he fucking created Moon Knight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah. Let's bring him on.
It's baffling to me that you have certain writers from this time period that are really well known and respected, and he's not one of them.
That's bonkers.
Because he wrote for both Marvel and DC.
Denny O'Neil?
Denny would be a good person to bring on as a consultant.
Right.
Doug, I would like to bring on as a writer because he wrote Batman for so long that he wrote some of the silly shit and some of the serious shit. Like he wrote the whole gambit.
Right.
I remember reading an issue where he's like, Calendar Man is attacking Batman. I'm like, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
But they made Calendar Man really cool in The Long Halloween, though.
Yeah, that was Jeff Loeb, though. Doug was writing him back when he wore a stupid cape made out of like a literal calendar,
numbers and stuff.
The other writer I'd like to bring on is Chuck Dixon, who wrote Batman.
He's gone. I heard he's gone kind of crazy now, though.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was not aware.
Yeah.
I
think he's part of the whole Comicsgate thing.
Comicsgate?
I'm not familiar with that bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's not. I'm gonna keep my enjoyment of him sacred for the moment being. Also, we're grabbing him when he's not kooky.
Yeah.
But
that's true. We're still keeping this in 1997.
I might be wrong. Okay. Don't.
There's also a Chuck Austin who's a comic writer who I can't stand. Anyway.
No, I can't stand that guy either. That guy's horrible.
He did Robin Year One, Batgirl Year One. He wrote Batman comics all through the 90s. Another one who's very versatile. Dealing with Kenner so that you give yourself a little bit more time to actually work on the concepts and have the costumes be cool. Since they're not making costumes off of the actual costumes anyways, you give them all of the concept art and you let them make all the action figures they possibly could want.
Okay. That seems like a really simple fix that could have been done.
Banana Hammock Batman.
With yeah, that joke went nowhere. Cut that joke. And then I have either hire someone to investigate the drawing that was done of Alicia Silverstone.
Yes.
Or put the entire costume department on probation.
I actually want to see this drawing. Anybody has a copy of this drawing anywhere?
I don't want to see it.
I don't know that I've heard of it actually being circulated beyond that point.
I feel like if it did exist, I would have seen it on some site. Somewhere.
Yeah.
How bad was it?
I mean, bad enough that someone lost their job over it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, also PA is kind of like,
well, there's that too.
It's a PA.
Yeah.
You like fart the wrong way on set and you're a PA and you're just pack up your desk and go home. All right, so I'm going to run through the outline of what I'd like to do, and when I've finished, I'd like to know what your thoughts are.
I'm surprised you didn't get, like, Frank Miller.
No.
Because everybody talks about Frank Miller and Batman all the time.
Yeah, he's like one of the few Batman writers that is like repeatedly brought up over and over again.
If it was Frank Miller in like 1988, yes. In 1998, no. Also, he wouldn't do it. He was working on Sin City.
That's true.
Right.
And The Dark Knight Strikes twice again was awful, and I want to
that was
undo
bad.
that part of my life.
Yeah.
All right, hey, so we're going to open on an Arkham Break-In, which is led by Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
Hundreds of patients are set free across Gotham. We get a close-up opening, the same one we do in the movie, except for both the Batmobile and the Redbird, which is what the motorcycle is called, are gone. Their turntables are just spinning empty. We do see a single caped driver who drives off in the night, and this is Batgirl. Alfred is nowhere to be seen. She arrives at Arkham. She does her best, but there's so many. We then see Robin. He arrives next. Then finally Batman, who is in this movie a dickhead, which I'll get to. While this fighting is occurring, Freeze gets away specifically because Batman and Robin end up fighting with each other.
Oh.
When we see Freeze before he disappears entirely, he has gone to a high security wing to retrieve a specific inmate, the Riddler.
Fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
In the next scene, we discover that Batman and Robin have since Batman Forever ended their partnership. Robin taking over Bloodhaven while Batman takes over Gotham proper. Batgirl has been working with Batman for about a year, and Alfred, however, has left Wayne Manor to go supervise Dick, who he feels still needs guidance where Batman was unable to provide it.
So this is a hell of a departure
this is
already.
good.
This is interesting.
It's similar to the third season of the animated series where...
Yeah.
Or the comic even, where Dick's kind of grown out of being Robin.
Yeah. So we're seeing beginnings of Nightwing here.
Yes. I do want to keep the name Robin just for audience clarity, because I feel like he's only been Robin for one movie, changing him to Nightwing.
That's fair.
Right.
We're still trying to sell toys here. So Poison Ivy has, in this, she's a straight up eco-terrorist from the get-go.
Okay.
Oh.
And she has made her way into the secret lab in South America, which is in the movie. She and her other eco-terrorist buddies are planting bombs to blow it up. She hears some shenanigery in the background, or in the back room, so she goes to investigate that, where she finds I think it's Dr. Woodrow is the character's name.
Right.
Woodrow, yeah. Jason Woodrow.
Yes. Giving a demonstration of venom to a shady figure on a screen. We see a thief. God damn it, Jack. You asshole. So I just saw some stupid shit I did. We see a thief who stole some bread for his niece who is starving.
You son of a bitch. Who put a Les Mis in here?
Jean Valjean receives venom and then bulks up. Woody spots Pam and sends venomed Jean Valjean after her. They are both caught in the explosion, the bombs that were set up. They go off. Poison Ivy becomes Poison Ivy. Jean Valjean is never spoken of again. And as she is recovering from her poisonedness, she realizes that the lab that she is in is owned by Wayne Tech.
Kind of like how she did in the actual movie. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
But since she's an eco-terrorist, it makes a little bit more sense that her next move would be to go and go after them for supplying them, instead of being like, oh, here's a beaker. Clearly, I can reason with this person to change the entire thing.
Is she still like a nerdy
Gala.
girl?
No, fuck that. I hated that.
Okay.
The whole she's all that is very problematic, and I hate it.
Is she still played by Uma?
Oh yeah. No, the only people I changed were the ones I mentioned. Everybody else is still played.
Okay.
Because we have a 2-actor change role.
Yeah. I was surprised that you kept Clooney, but
I think for the story I want to tell, which is that of a
dickhead Batman?
a dickhead dad, essentially.
You feel like Clooney would do a better job with that?
I think so.
Okay.
I would have brought back Keaton. He could have pulled that off too.
He also could have pulled that off, yeah.
He wouldn't have done it.
At that point, yeah, probably not.
Right. With a better script, he might have.
I also think Val Kilmer could have done it, but he
Right.
wouldn't. He was too busy hanging out with Brando.
Unless we got Brando.
You want to make this movie better. Because I also was like, what if we put Bruce Willis as Mr. Freeze? And
I
was
want
like,
to give you a Batman you can't refuse.
Late 90s Bruce wasn't bad.
Kilmer?
Late 90s Bruce Willis wasn't bad.
Oh, Bruce Willis. Oh, not performance-wise,
No.
attitude-wise.
Attitude-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
So we continue on to, so I did a pretty solid setup, and then it's kind of like, oh, we did a little this, we'll do a little that. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. And that's what this is, where we do get the scene where Ivy confronts Batman at the gala. Why? I don't know, because I damn sure didn't keep the diamond thing. You know I didn't.
Of course you didn't.
And there's a fight that ensues. Batman and Robin are ineffective, but Batgirl shows up, who is unaffected, and succeeds in getting Ivy arrested. Freeze gets away, which it's a reverse of in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
However, he is sent to Arkham to free Ivy as per his employer's orders.
Employer.
Correct.
The plot thickens.
Following that televised fuck up, Batman and Robin have it out, and we get the full story of what happened. What is that? I don't know. But something. In the comics, it's not really explained. In the TV show, it's not really explained.
Well,
I have to
in
imagine.
the TV show, wasn't it implied that he had an affair with Batgirl?
You're not wrong, and the reason I'm hesitating to say yes is because it's icky.
It is kind of gross.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Especially if we're still going with the idea that this Batgirl is Alfred's niece. This feels even weirder.
I left it ambiguous, but yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine it would have to be an extension of kind of what we see in the film as it is. Like it's the tension of Dick feeling too controlled and feeling at Batman's whims.
I think that and Bruce feeling that he is taking too many risks.
Yeah.
He's too immature. We just push that up to 11. We'll cut back to a flashback of that being displayed in an earlier case. It did good. We'll have them kick the shit out of Zaz. He's always the kind of like go-to throwaway villain.
You know, I was initially thinking the guy, like the little guy who plays like the killer they bring in to become Bane. I was thinking like, why not make that little guy Zaz? Because he's kind of got to build and like he's got to build for that. And apparently his audition was just to scream and throw himself against walls. So like
he crushed it.
Zaz.
So not Jean Valjean?
No, stop bringing Jean Valjean into this.
What's with all the villains in all these movies? They always have goons that match the theme.
You gotta have...
Right? Of the villain.
Yeah, they got minions.
More importantly, where are they getting these sweet costumes?
Yes.
And how are all of them hockey players?
So we get the backstory. We then cut back to Poison Ivy, who's escorted by Freeze.
I don't want to cut you off. What happened to Vivica Fox?
Who?
The sexy lady that Mr. Freeze had.
Wait, was that Vivica Fox? Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't realize that.
Does he still have her around?
Sure. Why not? You betcha. So Poison Ivy is taken by Freeze to the employer, who has the Riddler.
Ooh.
Okay.
There was stolen, freed at the beginning. We still feel like Freeze is in charge, but we know there's some shadowy figure behind him. Freeze wants Ivy to use her spicy flower abilities to get Batman's identity out of Riddler.
Oh.
Riddler refuses to say, as he did at the end of the Batman Forever. He's like, no, I don't do it. I'm crazy now. She does, except for because it's fucking Riddler, he tells her in the form of a riddle. This is when we hear from behind Freeze and in the shadows the answer to the riddle, which is Bruce Wayne. This is when we get the reveal of Bane.
Oh, so Bane is actually the employer.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I like
Criminal
that.
mastermind Bane. Fuck
Yes.
He tells Freeze and Ivy that this is awful, but it's perfect because it's the man they've all hated to begin with.
Right.
In this iteration, Freeze blames Wayne Tech for the accident in the lab.
For what happened to Nora.
Right.
Yeah.
Ivy blames same thing. And Bane, I've gone back and forth over whether or not he actually blames Wayne for what happened or if he's just feigning some shit.
Mm-hmm.
I only had so much time to come up.
Maybe he's using it as a way to lean on these other villains to do what he wants.
Correct. Like, what I really wanted to do was have this story, because like all great Batman stories force Bruce to deal with something he doesn't want to deal with. Each villain represents something. And what I wanted this one to be was to have each of the villains force Bruce to deal with the Bruce Wayne side of things that he kind of pushes aside while he's being Batman. So specifically it came out of the line from Batman and Robin where Pam's like, hey, renewable energy. And he's like, fuck you. Which I'm like, well, that aged poorly.
And how?
So I was like, what if we saw the village where Bane grew up, that being corrupted by the foreign businesses, specifically Wayne.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't get to develop that, but like that's where I would head with it if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
This is already more deep and thought-provoking than the last Batman Forever already.
It was not hard. So having, and this is where I would lose Warner Brothers. So having gotten the answer out of Riddler, Bane would tell Freeze to take care of him. Freeze freezes Riddler, kicks him over, shatters into a bazillion pieces.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Just straight up murders Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he was very expensive.
And or Crispin Glover.
Yeah. Sorry, Crispin. I mean, like you too, Jim Carrey, but you were too expensive.
Yeah.
Right.
So we cut to Alfred, who meets up with Batgirl to help her hack some computer stuffs. And they figure out who Ivy is. Because they're like trying to why would Ivy and Freeze team up? And they beep boop computer stuff. Like she eventually becomes Oracle, so she's great with all the computer business.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's when they discover that there are Wayne Tech factories operating out of South America.
Okay.
Freeze is sent to retrieve something at the bottom of the river. This is outside of the former final boss location of Batman Forever on that little island.
Oh, yeah.
Metal island.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Batman arrives to stop him, but on the island is a bunch of Arkham goons.
Like you do.
Right. Goons. They do that.
Mm-hmm.
Robin also arrives, and while they're bitching at each other and fighting goons, they also have this moment of remembering hey, this was the first time we teamed up on this island.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Bane breaks into Wayne Manor. He intends to send Batman / Bruce Wayne a message via Alfred.
Oh no.
You bastard. Don't kill him.
Don't read the current comics.
Yeah.
Batgirl. Initially, I was like, "Oh, we could have this be how Batgirl's back is broken."
Oh God,
Okay.
you break the
All
bat,
right.
but it's a different bat.
It's not only is she paralyzed as she was in the comics, like the Killing Joke, which pissed off every single fucking nerd. But we would also get the Bane moment. And then I was also like, no, fuck you. Alicia Silverstone deserves more time as Batgirl.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So I just had her getting severely hurt.
Right.
Forcing Batman and Robin to work together because that was kind of their go-between.
Yeah,
as Batgirl.
She was the link.
Yeah. So basically, I came up with Bane's grand plan, and then I was like, I guess they just fight and win. So his plan is to combine the tech of Freeze and Riddler. So Bane is able to freeze the city and turn its citizens into mindless, basically a bunch of Banes.
A brain freeze machine.
Because all of the goons that were set free were injected with venom, but it's not activated until under extreme cold.
Okay.
Huh. Fascinating.
Which causes absolute mayhem throughout Gotham.
Right.
Basically covering Gotham with like 100, 200, 300 Banes.
Right.
It's a lot of Banes.
And then Batman and Robin win.
Somehow.
Yeah. I initially was like, well, we could have like the Riddler tech used as like some kind of like mind control device for Bane. Because he wants to, I initially was like, okay, well, if his village was destroyed by capitalism, he's then going to destroy Bruce's city through like the victims of capitalism.
A bunch of Banes.
Right. So the reason this is so choppy is because I had no idea what to do with this movie until literally yesterday.
Oh, fuck.
When it all filled my head. It just all came out of nowhere, which is great, but also like it didn't have time to be polished.
Well, one thing that Batman and Robin was missing from the old Burton movies was Murder Batman. He didn't murder that many people in that movie.
I guess if you just started like...
he has like some feelings about that. I can't put my finger on it.
He needs a Tommy gun. That'll take care of those Banes. Lickety split.
Yeah, just give Batman a fucking street sweeper, and there we go.
So like, what if he squeezes the entire Bane army and then drives a Batmobile over them and turns them all into like pieces?
It suddenly becomes the prototype for the Arkham games that come out later.
I'm traumatized. So you have 3 minutes to react to my script, and then we have to go to the interview.
Okay.
Go.
Oh man,
I mean, it's definitely better
by leaps and bounds. Yes. I think it's definitely an improvement. I like. I actually really am curious to see how George Clooney would handle being this Batman as opposed to the kind of lifeless doll of a Batman
he can pull off being a jerk. He does that a lot in movies.
He does play a jerk pretty damn well.
You know who I really wanted but wouldn't follow our roles? Idris Elba.
Was he acting back then?
That's the reason I couldn't go with
it. Yeah, that would there'd be some time travel shenanigans involved there.
Also, he's too good for... I mean, he wasn't Cans.
You know who I thought a villain would work really good with Poison Ivy would be like Scarecrow, because I thought like the flower might be a thing.
Follow up.
That's true. Yeah, in the Batman Unchained
/ Triumphs, depending on which draft you got.
Sure. Scarecrow was supposed to be like the main villain of that one. But oh man, Scarecrow and Ivy would be an interesting combination. Also, apparently there were supposed to be all sorts of stuff like bringing back previous villains as hallucinations. Like they were going to bring back Jack Nicholson's Joker as a hallucination. Yeah. Harley Quinn was going to be the Joker's daughter or some shit. Which ew.
I think Madonna was gonna wanted to play that or something, right?
Madonna and fucking Courtney Love.
Yeah.
But Nick Cage was considered for Scarecrow, which would have been fucking sweet.
Oh man, that would have been perfect.
There we go. Unless he was too busy filming Speed 3 Cage Heat.
Well, they should get him for the new Pattinson sequel as Scarecrow. I think he would be good.
I would be down for that.
Like part of me is hesitant to cast as another Scarecrow because Cillian Murphy is just in my head is like perfect, but still I'm curious. If it's still Nick Cage though, just
Cillian Murphy is good for that iteration of Batman, that style of Batman.
Right.
He's not super comic book accurate.
Not a lot in the Nolan verse is, but yeah.
Have you seen that movie Pig?
Not yet. No, we were just talking about that recently. Yeah, we both really want to see it.
I'm doing a podcast about that. So.
Nice.
We'll have to watch watch before then.
Yeah, all the more reason to watch that.
Great.
But I think that you've gotten this out of a lot of Razzie nomination territory and possibly out of Stinker's winning territory. Maybe
still noms.
But there might be some noms. There might still be some noms.
In this iteration, Bane being Arnold would probably work better.
I agree, 100%.
I don't know if he could pull it off, but
I think he can be intimidating for sure.
The only issue that I really have is that third act, like, it seems like it's going to run into like the I don't know how to end this movie problem. Yeah. Not just because you didn't know how to end this movie right now, but because like that's still a problem that happens a lot, especially in like superhero movies and stuff.
It's like, let's just fight it out at the end.
Yeah, basically. Right. So I feel like in terms of like revised scores for this, I could see it getting.
Sorry, I thought you meant like musical scores. And I was like, all Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, no, all Smashing Pumpkins all the time.
Okay.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a bat in a cave. I'm sorry.
That worked too well.
I did. I barely tried. God damn it. Anyway, for Rotten Tomatoes scores, I think I could see this potentially getting critic-wise up into the high 40s, low 50s.
Sure.
Maybe.
I would say high 30s.
Yeah,
high
for
30s?
a better resolution, I think you can probably do it maybe 70 or 80.
If I got it all tied together, yeah.
I could definitely see some audience scores getting up that high. I don't know about critic scores though.
No, it's still the 90s.
So
and still
you don't have Poison Ivy fighting the two guys with her little like miss or anything, right?
I don't have it visualized as that. I mean,
you still had her kind of pitting them against each other a little bit,
yeah.
For a point there.
Yeah, but it more like taps into the rage that's already exists.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine she's picking up on that and just kind of not using the pheromones to like rile them up toward her,
Correct.
but toward each other.
Yeah.
In that way,
right.
Getting their hackles up.
Great, I crushed it. Two Oscars. Let's move on to our game that we like to play with our fellow podcast hosts.
Yes.
Can we be friends? Where we judge you based upon your movie choices.
Okay.
I sent you the questions yesterday and gave you just enough time to fuck it up.
Okay.
Let's start with a movie that you love.
Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Ooh.
No, I'm just
really?
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was saying that's a wild choice.
I'm in.
Like,
great. Love it.
No. I think I would go with probably Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Classic.
Yeah.
Absolute classic.
No matter when it's on TV, I have to watch it.
Yeah.
My favorite popcorn flick.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I adore that movie.
Yeah.
A movie that you hate.
This changes every once in a while. There's always a new movie every year that kind of takes the place of that. I mean,
Today, in your heart, what are you feeling?
Today, I really hate Matrix Resurrection. I really hated
Matrix
that movie.
Resurrections.
I was like, oh god, Matrix?
Jack also could not stand this. I didn't mind it. It wasn't my favorite.
I was so hyped. But I thought they were going to redeem themselves, and
yeah, even with my like somewhat enjoyment of it, I would not go anywhere near saying they redeemed themselves.
No.
I had expectations, but I didn't have high expectations, and they still managed to really.
I really hated X-Men Last Stand.
Oh
yes.
My God.
Oh my god. Fucking
X-Men
Brett
Dark
Ratner.
Phoenix also.
Yeah, they've
Wolverine
really
Origins.
they don't know.
Most of the X-Men
my God.
movies are really bad.
There's a bunch of bad ones there.
Yeah.
I think I still haven't seen Dark Phoenix because I don't think I can handle watching another bad take on Phoenix.
No.
And plus, Apocalypse was so fucking bad.
I didn't go near it because I'm like, why would you do that to my boy?
my sweet boy.
Fantastic. A movie that you know is bad, but you love it anyway.
Rocky 4.
Rocky 4?
That is the Russian fella, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I always forget if that's 3 or 4. So this is the big Ivan Drago.
Right.
Okay.
I know it's not good, but I just love that movie.
Is this also the one with the birthday robot?
Yes.
I can't remember.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And it's also the one where we think Polly's fucking the robot as well.
What?
No.
That's the theory online.
Because I've never...
Happy birthday, Polly.
Until yesterday, I'd never watched a Rocky.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I watched the first one.
Seriously?
Like, this was great. I loved it.
It's really good.
So I'm watching the first one and now hearing that Polly fucks a robot, and I'm really confused. I'm like, Polly's clearly got some issues, but I didn't think he was going to go like full Cronenberg Crash on it.
Nope, just big old robot pervert.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched the Rambos from 1 to all of them.
Shot full of robot perverts.
They do go off the tracks pretty immediately.
I mean, that's true.
Right. I mean,
again, first one's
did
fantastic.
you see Creed?
Oh, God, I love it. I've not.
I've not seen Creed.
I'm going to start at the beginning and work my way to it, I guess.
There we go.
Okay.
Push my way past robot fuckers.
Well, he recently did a director's cut and cut all the robot scenes.
He cut all the Stallone went back and cut out all the robot.
I might have to just watch that. I don't know if I can do the robot stuff.
No,
I mean, it has the best training montage in all of the movies.
that's saying something.
I want to see a supercut of just the montages.
That's what I actually do sometimes. I go on YouTube.
Supercuts?
I watch the supercuts of the montages on YouTube a lot.
Nice.
Just to hype
Super pumped
hype
up to
myself
go to
up
work.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can feel that. That's I approve.
Yeah.
The movie that instantly puts you in a better mood.
Okay. This is probably Dumb and Dumber.
Ooh.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
always enjoy that too. Like it's just that level of just stupidity and goofiness,
Right.
and just the chemistry between Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels in that is just spectacular.
Right.
I hate the movie up until after they've killed the guy in the cafe. These two fucking psychos kill a bird,
Right.
give a bird
right.
to
Up to a blind kid.
and then murder some dude and walk out. I for whatever reason, the disease of suspension of disbelief just like wouldn't sit with me.
You see,
But like if I
you
get past
describing that
part,
movie
I'm
just
fine.
is so hilarious already.
Yeah, you and Joe are just like laughing like this. Yeah, it was great. It was funny. I love it. And like to me, that is terrifying and like super demented.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. It is like if you actually stop and think about it at all, like it's bewildering.
What's
Right.
weird. I remember a friend seeing it as a kid and then like telling it to me before I'd watched it, and I'm like, "Why are you laughing?"
I watched this with my mom.
Right? No, for real.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
we were way too young to. Jesus Christ.
I also like the Naked Gun movies.
Oh, those are fun
Watched
as hell.
them. That's another franchise I need to watch.
Yeah, I mean especially go back and watch the actual Police Squad TV show as well because that's fun as hell.
Right.
With him, right?
Yes.
I believe Leslie
Yes,
Nielsen
he was in it,
is still
yeah.
in that as well. But yeah, no, like the movies are like they are like the peak of spoof cinema.
It is. It is. And you don't have to get all the references to laugh at that movie either.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. No.
Shit. Can't be any worse than robot fucking. Last question. A superhero movie that you think is overrated.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, the first X-Men movie I did not like.
The first X-Men movie. Okay.
I don't like any of the X-Men movies at all.
I mean, they give you a lot of reason not to.
They haven't
Right.
aged well.
No. Oh God, no.
No. And knowing
really-
what you know about Singer now, I can't even look at those
No,
movies.
I was just thinking that myself, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
And, I actually went to a live lecture that he did at my college one time. Right after he did.
Really?
Yeah. He went to the School of Visual Arts. And I went there as well. And, he was talking about how he never read the comics and doesn't really like the comics that much. And I'm like, gosh.
I mean, of all the terrible things for him to say or do, that's not top 10.
No, certainly not. But
Yeah.
it is.
But this was
it
all
is
before
frustrating.
the whole,
Right.
All the reality of what he was doing came out. Yeah.
Now, every celebrity who's been in a comic book movie since then is like, oh yeah, I love this character when I read him in the comics. I'm like, you did not read Squirrel Girl. Shut the fuck up. Don't lie to me.
Right.
All right, give me a second. We need to evaluate whether or not we can still be friends. Jones did trick me with the portrait of the serial killer. Really had that awkward time where I'd watch that with a girl and then we went to go make out and I'm like, I can't because we just watched Henry. And she was like, I respect you more for saying that. Yeah, we can be friends.
Yeah. I think we can be friends. That was
That's good. That's good. I can continue with my life now.
Oh man, those are good answers. I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So we got a couple minutes left here.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of geeky podcasts out there. We're a part of a Facebook group.
Right.
Right. You're the only one that I know that does it with their kiddos.
Yeah.
Right.
So what inspired you to?
I don't have any friends. That's why.
Oh.
And that was the only acceptable answer. That was it. That was the only one I was going to say. Everything else, it was a lie.
Well, Joe, has anybody ever told you that you sound a lot like Seth Rogen?
I actually have gotten that before. Yeah, we've had people have pointed out that I sound like a couple of different people. I've heard Seth Rogen a couple of times, minus the laugh.
Right.
And then who else did I get compared to?
God, I can't remember. I did forget to add to your action figure a laugh button.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I have some friends that do improv comedy, and they love hanging out with me because I laugh at a lot of what they say, and they feel better as people for it.
It's you have to have a Joe in the audience.
Right.
Everyone's like, that show is so much better because that one person laughed like a maniac.
I don't know. He thought it was funny. Maybe
must
I
have been
missed
funny.
something, so it must have been good. No, I'm just an idiot.
Right. I see.
Thank you for agreeing.
What are you reading any comics currently? What's in your read stack?
No, I'm not reading any comics right now. No. Only the free ones I get from being on the show. I'm getting a lot of free stuff from
Really?
indie creators.
Dang, that's pretty
I
cool.
need to get myself hooked up with that.
Yeah.
I paid for yours.
I told you I was going to send you one.
I got impatient.
Did you like it?
No, well,
I haven't read it yet because I don't like reading digital.
Great. You probably bought from Comicology.
I did.
Yeah, you probably got screwed
I
like
tried
everybody
to-
else.
I tried to buy it on Amazon and you're sold out because you're incredibly popular.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Sold out writer, artist,
hell yeah.
father of two.
No, 3.
Three?
Three.
Yeah, the other one's too small to be on the show.
Ah.
Yet.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been doing the show?
Around the same time as you guys.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll see who gets canceled first.
I'm
I mean,
trying, okay?
Jack's doing his best, but I just won't let him.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so glad we finally got to collaborate.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's stupid it took this long.
Right.
Schedules are dumb.
Yeah. Let's do another movie, but not a comic book movie. Okay.
But why?
Yeah.
No, let's do something.
We
Let's
can definitely do that.
Do Henry Portrait of a Show Killer. Every time one of you two laughs, I'm going to do a shot.
Oh God. No, you want to try to cancel the show, not be murdered by it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? It's horrible.
Oh, man.
I usually like dark humor anyhow.
It's a horror movie.
Is it?
Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer? Absolutely. It's not even funny at all.
I haven't actually seen
The
it.
darkest humor.
Okay. No, it is. I'm not easily disturbed by film, but that one.
That one got you, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a Serbian film. That's pretty messed up.
Pass.
Yeah. That was unfortunate. Yeah.
That's
Duly
what it says
noted.
on the DVD color.
That's the pull quote.
Yeah.
This was unfortunate.
Ellipses.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
and I've seen all 3 of the Human Centipede movies. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I put myself through that horror.
Well, I will say that while Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer is a rough movie to get through, it is a movie of quality.
Right.
One that you won't. No, you will regret it. You'll just be like, "Ah, yes, that was a work of art."
He shouts from the bathroom with his head in the toilet. 2 thumbs up.
Fantastic! What a great night of podcasting. Thank you once again, the Geeky Dad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where can people find you?
Well, anywhere podcasts can be heard, we're on. We're on, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. We're on Anchor, Spotify, everywhere. Yeah.
You can't escape us.
No.
Where can folks find you on social media?
I'm on Facebook, the Geeky Dad Podcast. I'm on Instagram also, and Twitter.
At Geeky Dad Pod, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Great. Wonderful. Well,
we should probably get my kids on the show and get me off of the show. Just have them on the show. See how you guys handle that.
Would you? This was a nice warm up, but would you send your kids in?
No, they're sleeping right now.
Wake them up. All right. Hey,
thank you all for coming and listening to us here tonight. Please keep doing that. Please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You should be able to find us. You can find us on social media at DeRazzled Pod on Twitter, at DeRazzled Podcast on Facebook, and DeRazzled_podcast on Instagram. You can also find us on TikTok.
Yeah.
What's the handle for that, Jack? Search DeRazzled on TikTok.
There we go.
You can also email us at DeRazzledPodcast@gmail.com. Please let us know what you think of our fixes, and please reach out and let us know what you'd like to see us cover in Season 2. Also, please let us know what you think of the current Razzie nominations, and we will highlight what you say in our Razzie Awards episode.
And come back next time, because we're sure to...
Razzle dazzle you.
Yeah,
we will.